Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump has been awarded, or a judge has given him, a special master or granted his request for a special master, which means that technically or theoretically there's an impartial, unbiased individual, not the Justice Department, not Trump's team of lawyers, that will sift through and decide what is executive privilege, what's personal attorney-client privilege, what belongs to Donald Trump, and what the U.S. government can investigate. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, to my super chat. D'Artagnan, thank you for starting it off. To my super chat, I cannot thank you enough, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to talk about anything to do with the Mar-a-Lago raid, the endless attempts at trying to indict Trump, eventually I think they will, because Mashed Potato Brains Joe will be impeached for actual crimes. So you'll have actual crimes that Hunter and Joe committed. It's within the Daily Mail and especially the New York Post emails. I mean, the emails that Hunter wrote and received from people wanting influence and wanting favors from the U.S. government. That is why they're giving hundreds of millions of dollars in business deals to Hunter. That's why they gave to the foundation, Bill and Hillary. And Hillary had top secret and special access program intelligence on servers running outside of the United States government, according to James Comey himself. Inherent to owning private servers is the intent to hide. Now, that's another story. Hit subscribe. Hit subscribe also to H.A. Goodman's other channel. We're over 20,000 subs there. And ladies and gentlemen, I will be providing content there very soon. I've just been, focused on this channel. We're going to zoom past 200,000 subs, I think, by the end of this month. Should be a very interesting month. You have a huge story, ladies and gentlemen. To my super chat again, thank you. D'Artagnan, thank you. Trump has now essentially halted the probe. He's delayed the probe with the appointment of a special master. There's a person that's going to sift through the documents and tell the Department of Justice what they can and can't investigate. The problem is they don't even have, if you read this wonderful article by Kevin Brock, they don't really have a case against Trump. Whether they indict him or not is a different story. Mad Cow Mark, to my Australian crew, thank you. Cheers, mate. Thank you so very much, Mad Cow Mark. I hope all is well. Paul Bartlett, Nico, Mad Cow Mark, to my crew in Australia, thank you so very much. And Yvette, thank you so very, very much. Mad Cow Mark, thank you as always. To my super chat, thank you. Thank you, Mad Cow Mark. I hope all is well. I hope everything's, fantastic, and hope you're doing well in Australia. Thank you. The special master is going to sift through documents and decide what belongs to Trump and what belongs to the U.S. government. Okay, here's the problem. And I'll read you this, and then I'll read you some articles on why they say, oh, Trump, the walls are closing in now. They couldn't get him with the Mueller probe. It was a complete failure. They didn't indict him. The whole point of the Mueller probe was to indict him on conspiring and colluding alongside a foreign country. It never happened. It was literally a fabricated attempt at accusing an incoming president of something he didn't do. See, Trump did not collude. And so the thing is, they had egg on their face, spending millions upon millions of dollars going after Trump. They were supposed to indict him. You could have easily indicted Clinton. Comey stated that, no reasonable prosecutor would indict, although there's violations of the legal statutes. He literally stated there were violations of the legal statutes. He stated that. Comey stated that in his own words. In his own words. Okay? When people say, oh my God, you're believing nonsense. These are conspiratorial theories. Like, no. Comey stated that in his own words. Although there's violations of the statutes pertaining to the handling of classified data, no reasonable prosecutor would indict. So where are all the reasonable prosecutors with Trump? All they want to do, they despise and they have almost the utmost contempt for Trump. They just want to take him down. And they can't do it. Now, eventually, look, next year, Joe is going to get impeached. He's going to get impeached. So, the man's going to get impeached, ladies and gentlemen. So it's like they don't have anything to run on. There's a huge geopolitical nightmare taking place right now in Europe, an invasion under their watch. But you have a recession in Europe. You can just, type in recession Europe. You'll see here. Europe heading for recession as cost of living crisis deepens. Gee, what are the chances that you tank your economy? You shut down your economy for, you know what? You made endless mistakes all at once in the most apoplectic and hysterical manner, and you said anyone who didn't agree with you was ending someone's life, and then because you shut down and ended economic activity in the U.S. and in Europe, and that was the force behind that, the push behind that, was the Democratic Party, bureaucrats, experts. These people loved stimulus checks as they prevented families from being able to acquire to actually work for their money, to earn a paycheck. They said, no, you can't earn a paycheck, you can't work. We're going to shut down everything, but we're going to give you these wonderful checks, and we're there for you as we cause this catastrophe and calamity. Now they're falling back and they say, well, it was unprecedented. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know what, it was just so difficult and we had to shut down everything. Well, Europe is heading for a recession as cost of living crisis deepens. You pump the economy full of $10 trillion in fiscal and monetary stimulus. Then you cause the inflation. Then Mashed Potato Brains gets into the Oval Office and his energy policies are abysmal. Matt Kalmark, thank you. D'Artagnan, thank you. Then what happens is that you have record highs in inflation. But 1 out of every $5 was created essentially by the Federal Reserve, according to one report. So you have all of these problems it was a self-induced economic catastrophe. We had record low unemployment with real wages up, with inflation at around 2% under Trump. You vote for Trump when Mashed Potato says, democracy, and I have to accept. These are the same people who commit crimes, get social media algorithms to cover up their crimes. We can't discuss everything, and they silence the New York Post, and it's like they are actively covering up crimes on their own side. Then they get these historians. I was just watching Gutfeld about an hour ago. It's kind of hilarious. They get these historians like, oh, well, we've seen this before, but not to this extent. Like, what are you talking about? Even if Trump doesn't, let's say Trump says things that they find, egregious and horrible and terrible. It's like, you don't have to, like, who cares? Like, if you were a Democrat, don't you have better things to focus on than Trump's rhetoric? Even in this day, even if he says things you don't like. Kathy, thank you. Even if he says things you don't like, don't you have better things to focus on? Isn't there anything you could focus on? Don't you have you look at inflation, food costs, all of these, you look at inflation and food costs, energy costs, recession, geopolitical nightmares. You look at all of these problems. Midterms are going to be abysmal for Democrats. Okay? Midterms are going to be absolutely abysmal. It doesn't matter. The Senate really doesn't matter because if you have the House, you're going to get impeachment, and you will have the House. And the market keeps tanking, and I'll be doing segments on the stock market crash channel. You're going to get an impeachment of Joe. And you're going to see those emails front and center. The entire country is going to even the people who think that, it really doesn't matter, like kickbacks don't matter, kickbacks don't matter. It's like, well, you know what? Kickbacks are worse than anything Trump ever was been accused of. Okay, they said that he conspired with another country. They never actually accused him of anything specific. We don't know if he bought Facebook ads on behalf of Vladimir. We have no clue what they were actually accusing him of. Oh, there was compromise, all this stuff. It's all projection. It was all projection to begin with. They didn't have anything when they accused him with Stormy. They accused him with the Mueller probe in Georgia, in New York, in January. He wasn't the mastermind behind January, and it was a terrible day. You had that day every single, unfortunately, every single day replayed in the summer of that year. Stephanie, hello. And so you're going to get an impeachment in 2023. They're going to have to indict Trump, almost. You have to get ready, ladies and gentlemen. 2023, this channel is going to do quite well because I come with receipts, reading public record. I'm always in good standing with YouTube, thank God, because I always give public record. I back everything I say. I back up everything I say with public record knowledge. For Free Reign, hello. Hi, Caroline, hello. I'll check that out. For Free Reign, thank you. And so you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where they don't have anything on Trump. You have to understand, it's like, this is why I love sports, okay? If Democrats were a sports team, they'd be the most overpaid, hyped up sports team that loses everything. And even when they get to the championship, or let's say they get to the championship game, let's say they won the championship, but it's like, did they really, what did they, if they won the championship, they have the Oval Office, the House, and the Senate. They're presiding over a recession, and they're presiding over a geopolitical nightmare. I don't know how has the country benefited? They keep on talking about democracy. Can somebody tell me how the country has benefited from having Democrats in office? They're still obsessing over Trump. And the thing is, they cannot prove an actual crime. Here you go. The unredacted parts of the affidavit make no attempt to articulate cause that Trump was not authorized to have these documents in his home. The reason is that as president, he had broad, legally intimidating authority established by law and court determinations to declassify any and all documents and determine what is and what is not presidential record. That's why he needs a special master. That's why he got a special master. Trump and his legal team have asserted that this authority was exercised while he was still president. Therefore, a violation of these fairly low-level and seldom prosecuted document-oriented statutes cannot be proven. Also, the Presidential Records Act lacks an enforcement mechanism. The situation does not look good for the government. The Ivy League-educated attorneys of the DOJ had to know this adventure had little chance of eventual successful prosecution. The use, therefore, the highly intrusive search of a home simply as a forcing function to retrieve documents for the National Archive and then not to follow through with the actual charges spikes the potential, bias needle dramatically and will not help quiet the growing suspicion that this was more of a political hit job to take Trump off the chessboard than it was to pursuit of blind justice. They want Trump out of 2024. This is Kevin Brock, former assistant director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They want Trump out of 2024. And so it's this time, they're going to get him. Apparently this time they're going to get him. They're going to get him this time. We have him. We have Trump this time after the 50,000th time that he was, the 50,000th time he's been investigated. But this time, don't you know, Mary Mennett. Hello, H. You're smart and handsome and awesome. Won't you run for office? Thank you, Mary. Well, you know what? If you live in California, very difficult to run for some type of office if you're not a Democrat. If I ever move from the state, it's a potential. But Mary, thank you so very much. Very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. Thanks for the kind words. Mary, thank you so much. I can't do this without you, Mary, and everybody here, and to my super chat, Mad Cow Mark, everyone here, thank you. Thank you, Mary. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Have a great evening and have a great week. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. They don't have anything on Trump. They despise Trump. They despise Trump. They live every single day of their lives. They don't like the record highs in household median income under Trump. They don't like the record lows in poverty. They don't like the geopolitical. Trump is against counterinsurgency conflicts. He doesn't worship the intelligence community. And Liz Cheney and Kinzinger voted alongside Trump 90+% of the time. Thank you, Mary. Greatly appreciated. And you never know. In the future, you never know. Thank you, Mary. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Hopefully, my foray into politics, my entrance into the political arena years and years from now will do better than the $20 million venture capital funded pundit who tried to run for Congress. Got an endorsement initially, Mary, from Bernie Sanders. This is the $20 million venture capital funded channel, and then with a top pundit there, he got an endorsement. I endorse you. I just want to say that I endorse you. And then he was unendorsed by Bernie Sanders like a couple of days later because two people on Twitter got upset or a bunch of people on Twitter because this candidate from the $20 million venture capital funded monstrosity actually wrote very, very bigoted and prejudicial, posts, whatever, about his opinions on things. And of course, he was a Republican back then. That was the rebuttal. If you were a Republican, you couldn't forgive it. I used to be one of the greatest criminals of all time, but I was a Republican, so you have to forgive me. And so he got unendorsed. I unendorse you, says Bernard Sanders. I unendorse you. Unendorse you. Nina, thank you. I unendorse you. I used to endorse you. This is Bernie Sanders on a typical day on the left. This is how the left works. I want to endorse candidate XYZ, one of the largest channels. Kathy Long Beach, thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much. Very, very kind of you. Very kind of you. So Bernie Sanders said, I want to endorse this candidate XYZ. This is a fantastic candidate, and everything that he stands for, I stand for. I want to endorse him to run for Congress in a heavily Democratic part of the country. 3 days later. I just want to say on Twitter that I unendorsed this man. It's been revealed to me that I can't endorse this person anymore. Okay, the bowel movement is a lot larger than just one endorsement. So I hope that you'll be okay and not offended by me unendorsing somebody I endorsed. Denise, great, and thank you, Denise. So kind of you. Kathy and Denise and Mary, thank you so very much. Mad Cow Mark, thank you. D'Artagnan, thank you. Thank you, Denise. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Hi, Caroline, you like that? American Girl, we endorse you. I endorse you. American Girl, thank you. Thank you, Denise. Denise and Kathy and Mary, thank you so very much. American Girl, I endorse everybody here. I'm Bernard Sanders. Trump is a menace to democracy. When Debbie Wasserman Schultz did what she had to do, and she ran a fair and neutral primary, and the Russians, along with the Kremlins, infiltrated and hacked the DNC, and those emails showed that I was actually treated very fairly. I was treated in a very good way. I was they gave me utmost respect when they were conspiring and plotting my defeat and my end. But I want to let you know, Vladimir, if you're listening, Vladimir, Denise, thank you so very much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, everybody. If you're listening, Vladimir, I don't want your help anymore. And I heard before that people said they cheated me 2 years ago in Iowa once again. That's not true. When I won in Iowa, there was 17 alignments to go, and actually Pete Buttigieg won. I lost Iowa fair and square after Clinton application of a mobile phone app developed by the Clinton campaign did me in. I just wish that people could see how democratic the Democratic Party is and how wonderful they are. I can literally talk like this for the next hour, but I will stop talking like this right now. Oh, stop talking like this right now. You need to stop you need to stop pretending you're other people. Okay. Anyway. Thank you, American. American Girl, I want to thank you very much. I do a pretty good Bill Clinton. What is. I did not have relations in the Oval Office. All I was doing is talking about ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Anyway, they have nothing on Trump, but explainer. Reuters. Can Trump claim executive privilege to shield Mar-a-Lago documents? A federal judge on Sunday granted former President Donald Trump's request for a special master. What is executive privilege? Executive privilege is a legal principle that allows certain White House records to be shielded from lawmakers and courts. Kind of like 31 million documents that were taken by President Obama. So, Kathy, thank you. Wait, Canadian, hello. Eric, hello. Then they're like, well, he wasn't really president, so they don't think he was really president. You have to understand, like, I don't have any issues, psychological issues pertaining to mashed potato brains. I feel bad for him, but he's just hilarious. Like, hey, my Republicans. I was listening to his dumb speech the other day. I'm my Republicans. I'm my Republicans. But you know what? I'm used to going ahead and yeah, come on now, man. I used to my Republicans disagree. There's fundamental principles in democracy. And a MAGA Republican is extreme MAGA. Extreme. Well, Republican accept results and democracy. I can't do a good Biden just because, he's if I could, every time you play Biden, it's a big problem. So I don't play him anymore on any live stream. But it's there was one campaign speech where this man spoke in tongues, and he was like, and we're gonna get him. And this is the man that's gonna save our democracy. Exactly, Megan. They keep talking about democracy. They set up and framed an incoming candidate. They're trying desperately to go after. Then they accuse Trump of everything they're doing. It's pure projection. They're like, Trump he's gonna cause chaos and mayhem. Meanwhile, they're raiding Mar-a-Lago. Dun 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 dun. They should just have a theme. They should actually play theme music. They should give the theme music when the Bureau raids, because they're probably going to go into Atlantic City or New York or do something else. Let's go. We're raiding Trump. Getting those documents, everybody. Go, 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 go. Let's go. Saving democracy from Trump. And then these people are like, Trump is calling for chaos. He's calling for violence. He's calling for chaos. No. And it's like, Trump, we know what he wants in 2024. He wants to go after his political rivals. They're going after him. They're going after him. That's the hilarious thing about all of this. But here, they're going after Trump and then complaining that he might go after them for going after him. But see, the problem is that the problem has always been that they have politicized government. Then they're like, he's going to make sure the government sides with him. As opposed to what? The government siding with you? God forbid he has an administration that doesn't investigate him for nonsense every 2 seconds. And guess what? If Democrats committed crimes, they should be investigated. If there was crimes committed, like, I don't know, endless videos and pictures and emails documenting legitimate serious crimes in the New York Post and the Daily Mail and other publications pertaining to Hunter. It's not partisan when somebody has committed. If Trump committed an actual crime, there would be nothing for me to say. You want to know how I know he didn't commit a crime? He hasn't been indicted yet. He hasn't been indicted because they go from one hysterical story, one apoplectic obsession to another. He conspired alongside foreign governments. No, he didn't. Found nobody was indicted for doing anything with a foreign government, especially interfering in 2016. They never even accepted 2016. Stacey Abrams hasn't even accepted Kemp in Georgia. So it's like these people are the biggest hypocrites on the planet. The biggest hypocrites on the planet. And so you have, can former presidents claim executive privilege? U.S. courts have not definitively ruled in the extent former presidents can claim executive privilege. The Supreme Court last year sidestepped the question. And so they didn't. Here's the thing. It's been 2 years since January, okay? 2 years, about 2 years. If they had, don't you think if they had any evidence at all, they would have indicted Trump for January? They don't. They know that it was a terrible day. Actually, four supporters of President Trump, one unarmed woman lost their lives. I mean, it's like, and then they're like, they don't even bring up the unarmed woman. And they don't bring up the hundreds upon hundreds of law enforcement officials who were injured all throughout that summer. And I support why people demonstrated peacefully, but not the $1 to $2 billion in property damage. So it's like you have a situation where they keep on accusing Trump, and they're like, he wants this, he wants political chaos. Let's assume for a second that he wanted political chaos. Let's assume for a second that Trump wanted, a cataclysmic battle, okay? And so it's like let's assume for a second that Trump wanted a cataclysmic battle between two sides of the American electorate. what would that matter? Like, nobody voting for him is pushing that. Nobody voting for him is like the chaos and mayhem is going from left to right, not from right to left. You can look at $1 to $2 billion in property damage, and I support the cause of why people demonstrated. I don't support the 19 lives lost, $1 to $2 billion in property damage. Okay, and then you can look at the churches that were burnt to the ground. So it's like it's right there. It's right there. You have a situation where the actual, like, the most chaos and mayhem is coming from one political side. One second, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. I apologize. One political side, and you have CNN saying, fiery but mostly peaceful. Like, does that make any sense? You couldn't get more Orwellian. You could not get more Orwellian. But ladies and gentlemen, Trump lawyer, let's put this, okay, so let's go back. Sorry. To eventually win a court order shielding the records, Trump would have to establish that he can assert the privilege even though he's no longer in office. Not really, he just got a special master. A special master has been appointed to weigh executive privilege. Experts say they have never heard of a special master being appointed to decide if executive privilege applies to documents. Here's the issue. Experts who are liberal Democrats say this, but why would they not why on earth would they not use a special master to sift through and separate documents that are executive privilege? The whole point, if you're a president of the United States of America and you have notes on meetings, you have documents that you've given to your staff, you have a decision-making process within those documents, okay? Why would that be subject to the Department of Justice that's obviously politicized? Then they say, well, you know, they got the justice, they got a warrant to investigate Trump. A judge approved a warrant. You can deceive judges very easily. Kevin Kleinsmith did. He pled guilty to falsifying documents. That happens all the time with Trump. That happens all the time with Trump. It's like you get loyalists covering up Hunter's actual crimes. You have Kevin Kleinsmith falsifying documents. I mean, it's not difficult. He falsified documents to continue monitoring Carter Page. And then they say, well, it went through a judge. Yeah, you can have documents being falsified. You can have documents utilizing references to a Steele dossier. JG! Why am I always late to the Hey, late is good. Late entrance is just fine. JGI Carolyn, hello. Love Trucks, hello. And it's like, you're not going to, this is the thing. If they had something to indict Trump on, like, you could have indicted Clinton, and I want a Hillary Trump 2024. Nobody wants Hillary Clinton to become nominee more than I do. And she could possibly win. Jesus. She could possibly win, God forbid, but she could possibly win. She's better than mashed potato brains, and she has a much stronger base of support. But I'd vote for Trump a million times over. I should have voted for Trump in 2016. I really should have. Record highs in household median income, record low in poverty, and an anti-war foreign policy. Yeah, much better. And he doesn't worship the intel. The intel agency, here's okay. The United States Postal Service, the post office, does more for this country than the intel agencies. The FBI does a lot, okay? The FBI, when they're not politicizing, when they're not siding with one political organization, they do a lot of good work. Especially when, like, the most wanted or whatever, protecting, the country from, whether it's a criminal organization or, the FBI in general does some good work, okay, but it's politicized. Central Intelligence, National Security, they probably do some good work too. But see, then you have you have these agencies siding with Democrats, and that's not what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to simply protect the country from serious risks to national security. That's what they're supposed to do. They're not going to side with one political party. They've overtly sided, utilizing a dossier purchased by Clinton. But, you can go look up Aldrich Ames, okay? Robert Hansen of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Robert Hansen, Aldrich Ames. These people sold documents, and there are numerous other people who were they actually committed, treason. They actually sold classified data, top secret intelligence to the Kremlin. They actually engaged in that behavior, and they were convicted of that. Now, you have the New York Times today. I was watching the Dark Horse podcast. Fantastic, amazing, couple, and just two scientists. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. They should have 10 million subs. They have, I think, 500,000. But they're absolutely amazing. And they were talking about the New York Times article where they accused Trump of potentially, selling or, letting go of secrets that compromised informants and sources and people working for us in other countries. And it's well, number one, you could have an Aldrich Ames or Robert Hansen or numerous other people who have betrayed the country, okay? You can just, from Benedict Arnold to Aldrich Ames and Robert Hansen, and there's a whole bunch of others. There's one guy, he worked at the Department of Defense. He was in the Navy. John Anthony Walker. Okay. He gave a whole lot of documents. So he was a communications specialist and a Navy chief warrant officer. I think he gave one of them, either the most or he gave just a crazy amount of documents. Crazy Oliver, hello. But there's a whole list. You have, like I said, Aldrich Ames, Robert Hansen, John Anthony Walker. You have a lot of people, and then you have, the people who are compromised are people within the Democratic Party. You have one Democratic congressman who was accused of having a romantic relationship with a spy. Hello? Well, you can't get more compromised than Democrats are actually accepting money from other countries. Okay? Trump doesn't need all that. He doesn't need politics to get rich. He's already rich. He's already a billionaire. But the New York Times was saying, oh, yeah, our sources and the people working with us are losing their lives. Well, you could probably blame the Democratic Party, not Trump. You had secret servers that former agents stated compromised national security in terms of sources and people working for us. Clinton had servers, and then there was, hold on one second, you can look it up right here. You can look it up right here. Okay, Clinton. Okay, so here. There you go. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's like, this has to be a Clintonian operation against Trump, because look, Clinton emails held indirect references to undercover Central Intelligence officers. But 3 officials say no emails directly revealed the identity. Okay, indirect references. Okay, but then you get 3 emails said they don't reveal anything, you know. A handful of everything. They're going to always spin everything into, well, you know, Trump was worse. Like, no, there's no way Trump was worse. NBC Connecticut, Clinton emails held references to undercover officers. I mean, if I told someone this, they would say, "Oh, you're just believing nonsense, blah blah blah." If you told somebody that Madam Secretary's emails held references to undercover, like compromised undercover people, okay. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much. And to my super chat, thanks everybody. Mary, everybody here. You have a situation where Denise, thank you again, Denise, an American girl, everybody here, thank you. Mad Cow Mark, to my super chat, I can't thank you enough. You have everything they've accused Trump of, you could find infinitely worse. You could find infinitely more information on, or more incriminating news stories proving that Democrats have engaged in much worse. But people don't care. Oh, handling of classified data. Clinton's emails were infinitely worse. Secrets that could have been taken by adversaries. Even Comey said her emails could have been infiltrated. They would never have known. And what are the chances private servers weren't infiltrated? The whole planet knew. Even Michael Hayden stated that, yeah, almost certainly. And then you have NBC Connecticut, Clinton emails held references to undercover officers. It's right there. You don't have to, this isn't Thucydides and the history of Peloponnesian War written thousands of years ago. This is right here, okay? This is 2016. We need to relive 2016 because 6 years ago, everything changed. Everything changed 6 years ago. Everything changed. So, I mean, you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where, you can prove that, you can easily prove that what Democrats have done is far worse than anything Trump did. And it's I would love to get into a debate with any of these wonderful, highly educated, revered historians. And I would love to get their input on this article, okay? Clinton emails held references to undercover officers. Let's see what give them an opportunity to justify this, okay? To justify, how do you justify this? Or Comey, how does Comey justify this? They can't possibly justify any of this. That's the issue. Dale, hello. They can't possibly justify any of this. If they had a case against Trump, I think that they're probably going to charge Trump eventually. So here, Durham says Central Intelligence found data alleging Trump-Russia connection was not technically plausible, user created. I mean, this has been a, oh Lord. Oh Lord. It's just, it's absolutely hilarious. You have a situation where they're going, if you were to tell this to like an educated, highly educated, wonderful, morally superior Democrat, you said, look, you have like information that proves that Democrats engaged in far worse. You can indict these Democrats. Here you have here. Like, we can just go Hunter, West Wing, here, right here, okay? Joe Biden met with 2 energy execs in the West Wing, the 15th meeting. The 15th meeting, okay, with businessmen tied to his son's company. I mean, he met 15 times. 15 times he met, and even in the West Wing. That's the Daily Mail. If you gave this, so like all of these historians now are after Trump. Can they explain this? Biden met with energy execs in 2014 at the White House. You have these historians. They're like, oh, Trump, he's such a menace. We've never seen him. We've never seen it before. Where's the rebuttal to this? Is there a rebuttal? How on earth is this worse than Trump University? How on earth is this worse? These people are meeting for preferential treatment, and guess what? They did get preferential treatment in many ways. Hedy Lamar, hello. They did get preferential treatment. And, I mean, you could indict and impeach immediately from this stuff. You can indict and impeach immediately. It's not difficult. He lied about that. Let's compare Trump's lies about crowd size to lies about meeting Hunter's business associates at the White House in 2014. How will Joe get out of this? Is he going to give another speech about It's like, yeah, well, Trump doesn't believe that somebody who slurred his speech and, is basically like, all over the place, can't find his way outside of a room. So, yeah, Trump doesn't accept, and they didn't accept losing to Trump in 2016. They started everything. They never treated Trump like a president. They never accepted. You should say, Madonna made the most outlandish claim. Actually, it was kind of borderline illegal, which she stated. I mean, it's like what she stated about the White House. Look it up. You can't even talk about it on YouTube. Okay? You can't even talk about it on YouTube. FX Pest Operator, hello. Thank you. You can't even talk about it on YouTube. And these are the people pontificating. These are the people pontificating and preaching about democracy and about the rule of law. And it's like, yeah, you don't have the right to preach or pontificate. You have no right to preach or pontificate. You really don't. I just can't get these historians, like, I have a pretty good grasp of history. I'm not saying that I'm an historian, but I have a pretty good grasp of history. But I also understand when somebody's a liberal Democrat before they're a historian. So you can say that we've never seen anything like Trump. Now, the reality is we've never seen a reaction to anything like Trump. Donald Trump, if he wasn't taken, if his words weren't sensationalized, if there wasn't such outrage elicited from words that that pale in comparison to Biden's words over the years, or even the past couple of years. What Joe called Peter Doocy, what he called Peter Doocy and what he said to Charlemagne the God is worse than anything Trump said. It's worse than anything Trump said. And then the response was, well, Trump is worse. Trump is worse. And then I this is hilarious. I know people are like, you can't bring up what Democrats have done. Just focus on Trump. It's like, no, sorry. It's called hypocrisy. You're not going to be a hypocrite. You're not going to get away with throwing stones at when you live in a glass house. Sorry. And these people are like, they've convinced themselves that anything Trump does is worse. Anything Trump does is worse. Then they defend the indefensible. Exactly, Denise, exactly. Then you have the ladies at The View, and I've watched a couple of segments. When they get caught in a lie or confronted with the truth, or like actually like there's a rebuttal they can't refute, then they just respond with an apoplectic, inaccurate, broad, vague, hyperbolic statement. Well, Trump wants this. Trump's been saying this. Trump's been doing that. It's like, no, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Where's the evidence Trump wants? Like they're like, oh, he wants chaos. He wants chaos. Like, well, where's the evidence that he wants this? Where is it? Because he says things you don't like. Where's the evidence that he's organizing anything? And you have the media's like, oh yes, chaos, political chaos could result from all of this. Like they're almost willing this to happen. They want like this type of division. It's been 6 years. Like, you remember it's like the Titanic meme? Hold on, where's the Titanic meme? This is the liberal Democrat 80 years from now. Hold on. Titanic meme. Here. Here it is. This is gonna be the average Democrat. It's been 80 years. It's been 78 years. Here it is. It's been 78 years since we tried to indict Trump. It's been 78 years. Even the Titanic was better than this. Hetty, thank you. Even the Titanic was more enjoyable than this. Even sinking in freezing cold water with icebergs all around me. Destruction and oh my God, it was happier. Do you understand? The Titanic was happier than any day with Trump's presidency. Do you understand? The walls are closing in. It's been 78 years. The walls are closing in. When are they going to close? How many miles away are these walls? Walls from where? The walls from Jupiter? Where are these walls? Dale Pelosi's granddaughter. It's been 78 years. One day we'll get Trump. That day will be amazing. It'll be the best day ever. It'll be the best day ever. We'll get Trump. And democracy will return once we go after our direct political rival. And cheat Bernie Sanders again. JG, the walls are social constructs. They're not even really walls, man. If you see other countries don't even have walls. Don't you even know? The Star Wars trash give, exactly. It's been 78 years. The walls are closing in on Trump. We're going to get him this time. We raided Baron Trump's house when he was 50 years old. Baron Trump. Dun 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 dun. 65-year-old Baron Trump holds the key to Donald Trump's indictment. Dun 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 dun. This is it. Barron Trump's great-grandchild. His home was raided by the Federal Bureau. Democracy. Democracy restored. Barron Trump's great-grandson holds the key to the walls closing in on Donald Trump. They will never stop. And it's going to get worse, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to get worse. Exactly. It's going to get worse. It's been 78 years. One of these days you'll get Trump. One of these days. Oh, this is a good one. It's been 84 years. It's been 84 years. Oh my God. And then they're like, Trump and he's so bad for American democracy. As they desperate to indict this man. Oh, then we have Dark Brandon begins. What? Are you, no one who takes this seriously? The whole nonsense about like Dark Brandon is like, so not one person on this planet has seen the abysmal, embarrassing, sad, pathetic speech and said, wow, that's so amazing. The only people who did were Democratic operatives paid to do so or that benefit from doing so. Every Trump supporter laughed. Okay. How White House appropriated the meme. Like, no, they're actually, in a way, bolstering the meme. So, and then here they go, Politicization, the Hunter industrial complex. Like, what? How is this? How on earth is it an industrial? Like, he committed crimes. It's actually within his emails. It's actually within his emails. Oh my God. Somebody made money from a story about Hunter. How many billions of dollars have been made? How many billions of dollars have been made on Donald Trump? God forbid, like, a one movie on Hunter. Like, you could have his home movies. They'd be like, wouldn't be rated, for anyone rated in a certain way that I can't even talk about. They did the same thing with Clinton. It's like Clinton industrial complex. Like, oh my God. Cannon concedes that authority to intercede is based on a reserve for exceptional circumstances. Well, okay, he's a former president. Concedes the government did not act with callous disregard for Trump, right? Yeah, of course they did. So what if they can get a search warrant for Trump anytime. There will never be a time where a search warrant is prevented from being utilized against Trump. There will always be, like, they'll always going after Trump will always be easy for these people. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Hit subscribe. Be here tomorrow. I have a very, very important segment upload on the executive privilege, Trump's executive privilege. We touched a good deal upon it, but I'll give you a more concise discussion on the upload tomorrow. Hit subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel and also the Stock Market Crash channel. Ladies and gentlemen, to my super chat, everyone here, thank you so much. Eric, JG, Love Trucks like Caroline, everyone here. Mad Cowmark, to my Australian crew, thank you. Everyone here, thanks so very, very much. To my super chat, thank you. Joel, hello. I will have a live stream tomorrow evening, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great evening, everyone. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow evening.